So not only do we want to update people about what's going on with the upcoming comic book stuff, we also want to let people in on the process and also just go ahead and reiterate what it is that we're attempting to do with this company. So, as I just mentioned, we announced Rippaverse. I was going to start working on it. We hadn't really started working on it. It was like, okay, I am putting forth the first effort here. And I announced that in March on my channel that was going to be something that I was going to be doing. And just to give people perspective on what it is that we're doing, I'm going to tell you the process here. So remember, the whole goal here with what it is that I was trying to create is I'm trying to become a direct competitor with these guys. Much like on mine, I want this stuff to be replaced on your walls with Rippaverse stuff. So there is a lot of foundational work that has to get laid, not only from the actual material standpoint, but also with the business. It's perhaps the most important thing. So this is what I had to do. Set out my vision. I'm going to be these direct competitors. What do I need to do and what can I do within my capacity to make something like that happen? Okay, so what we did was I started to lay the groundwork or the foundational work from the business standpoint. So we got all my legal team and all of them to get all the ducks in the row. And we have a million hoops that we have to jump through regarding our LLC and all of that and how much time it takes to get, it's just shit that you have to do, you shouldn't have to do. But in order for you to basically be able to avoid acts of aggression by way of the state, these are things that have to get done. So I laid down that foundation. Me and my lawyers had been working together on all of that. And then we had the material in itself that had to be created for the first book that was going to be announced. So this is what we did. I had to do a lot of vetting to try to figure out who was going to be my primary artist for the first book, right? And this was a process that took a few months actually to kind of do that. Now, within that period of time, I was writing, right? So I was writing the first initial story, and I said, because this is something that I want people to take serious, and this is going to not only be the launching pad for these characters, it's the launching pad or the characters that are going to be involved in the first book, it's the launching pad for the entire company. So I wanted to make something that had a lot of material in it. It took 100 pages for me to get my point across. So what I did was world build. Remember, this is about universes. This is about all of these stories, not necessarily being connected, but all of these guys existing, let's say, in the same plane. That was the point. This is what intrigued me about Marvel and DC and so forth. This is something that I wanted to do. Now, they don't care about that. Continuity can be damned. This is something that we want to emphasize. So with that being said, I had to world build. So I spent months world building. I have a big ass fucking it's not a series, it can't even be called a series Bible. It's a universe Bible. So I'm setting all of these different rules. I'm explaining the backstories for all of these different characters that are going to be introduced. And I notated all of that, not just for myself. It's something that we're going to continue to add to. That way, people that get on board, if we do another book and there's an artist or whatever needs to know how this character looks, needs to know what this character is about, we already have that documented. So I had to lay all of that. And it took obviously months to do that. And in between us handling the business element and all of that, I'm sitting here, I have to get, I'm trying to vet all of these artists to see, because a lot of it was fluff, right? I announced it like, hey man, any artists that are interested, hit me up. I got a commission work, hit me up. I mean, I would say 95% of the emails that we got, that we had to go through, the vast majority of them were fucking useless. It was artists that, people that weren't even artists, that weren't professional by any means, didn't really know what it is that they were doing. All of that stuff was fluff. And so we went through that for months before I got got that even started. So we're going into the end of last year, or going into more so fall of last year, before we had even nailed down artists, right? And that was, so you had the artist, we finally got him nailed down. And then I had to get the colorist. We got that nailed down. And we were working on, let's say it took a little longer than this, but we were working on almost a 5-page a week schedule with the artist. So that's pencil and ink work, right? So if it's 100 pages, that's what? That's like 20 fucking weeks on itself to just do the pencil and ink work. Not talking the color work, not talking the letterer work, though we did it in a format that we could speed the process up. That was how it had to happen. So that took time. Now remember, could I have, when I got like the first few pages already inked and whatnot, could I have released that and said, hey, we're here, let me take your money? Yes. To me, that is not, and that's a model that a lot of people, even that people that I would consider friends and colleagues, that's their model. And that's fine. So what happens is they'll announce it as they're working on it. Hell, they'll even have like a perk that'll say, not a perk, let's say a stretch goal. If they're doing the crowdfunding aspect, they'll have a stretch goal. And that stretch goal will add X amount of pages, right? So that stuff, basically, they're already getting, your money. And again, I want to be very clear. I'm not knocking this model. That worked for a lot of these people who are going the crowdfunding route. We're not going the crowdfunding route. I can't do that if I'm trying to compete with these guys. There has to be a quicker turnaround between I accept your money and you get the book. Okay? So there will be campaign elements that we will have and limited edition items for sure. However, I need to have a quicker turnaround between you giving us the money and you getting the book, which is why, in the same respects, it hasn't got here yet. We've been rather vague because I'm not going to spoil it. In the same respects of that, I haven't asked anybody for a fucking dime because I will not do that until the shit's ready. So as all of that is getting built out, we have that, we got the ink. That's 20 weeks between that. So we got that finished, right? Color work, then bam, we got the letterer. Again, this is going into now, we're at the end of last year. So not even just a few months ago when we finally got to where we got most of that, and we had to do like a month of corrections and all of that. Me and the people that are editing this, hey, here's this, bam. Then we got to deal with the printer. Okay, remember, it's not crowdfunded. I'm paying for it. So we got the printers. You had to, see who we're going to be working with. I wanted to work with an American company for the sake of the quicker turnaround as well, and also developing that relationship. I ended up finding out who that was going to be. And so we had to get everything ready, shipped to them. We ended up getting that. Had my pre-press guy get everything ready. Bam. Okay. So we get the stuff back as far as the basically pre-print stuff. So they send you basically the paper and all this. This is how it's going to look. Make sure we had a couple of errors. We caught those. We sent those back. All right. So all that is being done within the last few months, of course, until it gets signed off to be officially printed. Now, I am spending, for the first batch of books, I am spending a total, and I mentioned this, $31,000. That's not me talking about anything else aside from the books. Now, there are other things and merchandise items that are going to be associated with the first campaign that we also have to get sent off, and we have. There's one last thing that we're kind of nailing down. I need the person that made it to kind of layer it out for them because we're going to do some cool like item stuff for you guys. But we have all of those that we had to get ready. So I had to get my artists on those to get that stuff built out, covers, all of that. We had to get all of that stuff ready. But again, we're spending 31 grand just on the books, bro. This isn't anything, it's just on the book of my own money. It's because I believe in my product. But again, it take money to make money, and these are my competitors. I can't go the crowdfunding route if these are my fucking competitors. It's not a model that works, man. It's not a model that I don't want to say a model that works. It works depending on what your aspirations are. My aspirations are to get to a point to where we're putting out books probably monthly, bro. And it's not a crowdfund. It's you see it, campaign, bam, get your book. You get the shit in hand in a relatively quicker process, right? So I spent 31 grand to get the first initial books. We're getting all of that situated. And then we got the other aspects of fulfillment, right? I am in the current process of getting a fucking warehouse that we'll be paying monthly to house all of this fucking shit, right? So actually, I have a big meeting tomorrow on that. I think we got one that's really looking good. It's new. I think we're going to have that nailed down. Hopefully not by tomorrow, but I'll be going there looking at some stuff tomorrow. This is also all a part of the process and the business model it is that we adopt, right? So we're doing all of that. And yeah, the fact that we've been able to do all of that in a period of time within really less than a year has been, hell, I impressed myself. It goes to show how, if you got a good team that is surrounding you, man, you can really get some shit done. But that is what's taking, I don't want to say long, but that's where we're at now, okay? And then we got the final thing, which is the last thing that really will need to get done before we announce the project. Yes, there's other things, other promotional items that we have to do, not talking about physical stuff that you can get alongside the campaign, but also promotional items and stuff that we have to give to you guys to get you guys excited. So when you talk about trailers and stuff like that, all of that stuff is being built. This is something I'm not fucking playing around here. This is something that I'm taking very, very serious. It's not no rinky-dink fucking company that I'm trying to start here. But as I announced before, which got me oddly some backlash, I decided that I'm not using Indiegogo, for example, like a lot of my colleagues do. Again, not a knock to them, but I cannot justify giving a company 5% off rip, when I know I can spend that money to pay my developers, to pay my programmers, who did a fantastic job on our website, by the way, to build us out our own unique store that works in the way that we need it to work, that has even some of those similar elements, and build it. It's unique to us, and it's unique to the experience that we want to give our folks on our website, which, again, hasn't even been launched or anything yet. So they're building that out, right? That takes time. You got programmers and all of that shit that needs to be developed. So that, in addition to all of that stuff, that's really the last thing that needs to be done before I'm comfortable with announcing it. Anyway, I do have a meeting in that regards tomorrow at 4:00, talking about that with my development team and seeing what all we need to have nailed down. We did get the designs for every single page. They look fucking fantastic. The actual designs look amazing for the website, but it has to get programmed and all of that as well. So we have the coding aspect that we're going to have to do, and we need to get the store part nailed down in addition to that. So all of that's being built, and that's what we're spending these next months doing. This next month doing. I think we can nail this down this month for sure. That's what we're working on. And then after that, bam, we'll announce it and we off to the races. Now, this is my process because of what my aspirations are. Anytime I do something, I don't want to do it half-assed. If I'm going to do something bold and ambitious, demo, we're going to do it bold and ambitiously. But that takes money and it takes time. And I appreciate everybody. The only reason I even talk about this stuff like this is because people ask me about it. It's not like I'm going on a fucking promotional campaign already trying to no, because I don't have a product to sell you yet. I cannot accept your money, and I refuse to accept you guys' money until I have a product that I can give you. Now, yeah, we have other things that we have that aren't related to the Riververse stuff that you can go purchase. But like to this stuff, this takes time, this takes money, this takes effort, and people that maybe have never started businesses maybe think, oh, well, it's not coming because he's announced it last year and he hasn't showed anything. Like, what the fuck? Like, do you understand what it is that I'm trying to do? No, you don't, because you're retarded, and that's fine. That's fine. I can be patient with retarded people. I've done debates that show I can be patient with retarded people. But we're getting closer and closer, of course, to where it is that we're at, where I'm going to be comfortable to show you guys what it is to be been working on. And I can't wait for you guys to see it. It's for people that, and for those of you that knock and hate because, damn, he has all these people stoked about this stuff, and he rarely talks about it in detail. What the fuck? And you got people that have been mad at me for whatever reason. This is what happens when you build a rapport with your audience. Learn, motherfucker. I have never let my audience down. This is not my first creative project. I've been doing creative projects for the better part of this, really, since I was a fucking teenager. But as far as that's been in the public sphere in the last fucking decade, I'm a young guy too, born in the 90s. But whether it be with the music stuff or anything it is that I've done in that, I've never let my audience down. I've always fucking delivered something that was competitive, something that it is that they wanted, and I've never let them down. So whether it be with my content or whether it be with any other business stuff that I've done, when you do that and you build you have a foundation laid, your audience will rock with you. They will rock with you regardless. And that's what it is that if you are a creator, if I have any advice that I can give you, approach it that way. You know what I mean? Show. And you keep showing and showing and showing your audience what it is that you are capable of doing, and they will rock with you. Yeah, sometimes doing it that way, definitely the way that I am, it doesn't get you the first quick burst of success, and you got to be patient in some aspects. But the fans that I have and the supporters that I have are the best in the goddamn world. And the reason is because they rock with me for me. And that was important that I wanted to establish. If I was ever going to be in the public sphere, ain't no fake shit. I'm not being, who you see right now is exactly who it is that I am. And people that met me know that. There's no off switch. I don't have to turn. I don't have to hostile for my audience or anything. I give it to you straight. This is exactly who I am, which makes me comfortable in what it is that I do, which is why I can have all these different things that I can juggle. And I don't feel burnt out or anything because I love what it is that I do. Why? Because I get to just be me. I just get to be me. So can't wait to get this stuff out to you, but I wanted to let you guys in on the process and where it is that we are at in it and why this takes time. And you can't just come up with, I could have did it in a half-assed way, but I can't be a long-term competitor with these guys doing it half-assed. You just listened to a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake, which is live throughout the week at 12 p.m. Central on youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. Be sure to check out my website, ericdjuly.com, so you can stay up to date with everything it is that I'm doing. You can also become a member and get access to a bunch of cool perks and exclusive content, which includes a social media hub where you can interact with myself and other members. It even has an app that you can get, which is now live in the Google and Apple stores.